YouTube? This is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. Hopefully, you guys have had a good Tuesday. Well, I briefly touched on the tropics yesterday. Not really going into heavy detail, but we have some new developments here in both sides of the in both sides. We have the Atlantic and the Pacific. We're gonna first start off the Atlantic, where we now have our next named storm, Tropical Storm Karl. Karl formed just inside this little hook of the Yucatan Peninsula here. Formed up, I think, in the 5 o'clock advisory because we've been watching it organized throughout the day slowly. But it looks like they finally found a good circulation plus 40 mile per hour winds. So here we are with hence the name Karl. List this year. So if we look closer into the storm, we have a central pressure of 1,008 millibars, and it's moving very slowly at 6 miles per hour. So if anyone that's been watching my videos lately, especially with what happened with Ian and Fiona, you're probably saying, "But Ty, isn't this a concern to the U.S. because you said anything that pops up in the Caribbean right here or in the Gulf right here is really something that we need to be concerned about here in the U.S." And in most cases, I would say yes, but that's not what's going on here with this. When we look at the forecast track here, it paints a different picture. So we actually have the storm doing a little bit of an L turn here, or hairpin turn, and actually heading into southeastern Mexico. This isn't really going to be a factor for the U.S. at all. Like, look how far away we are from Texas here. We're a long ways from Texas. I'd be more concerned if anything, and even then, it's still far from there. I'd say Guatemala. But even then, that's a long shot, in my opinion. But this storm isn't really expected to strengthen beyond tropical storm. And honestly, once it goes into the inland Mexico, it's going to weaken very quickly. But one thing I am concerned about, if anything, might be a flood threat with these guys, with the people of Mexico. But beyond that, not much going on. Let's get a little bit more intricate with the forecast models here. So let's go ahead and talk about first where our projected wind speed is expected to be. We're looking at a potentially a 50 mile per hour storm at maximum, mid-grade, like low, maybe pushing mid-grade tropical storm. We already have tropical storm watches in effect from pretty much Tampiche, Tampa, I think it's Tampache, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, definitely let me know in the comments. From Temapiche all the way to Veracruz, pretty much. So anywhere in this area, we could expect tropical storm conditions to start to take place within the next 48 hours. Here's a look at Karl on satellite. Good circulation, I'd say. Not the most organized storm. There is some wind shear that's affecting it on the north side, which is also further inhibiting. It's inhibiting further strengthening. I'm trying to get my words right. But go to the forecast models here. And again, nothing really pushes. There's only maybe one spaghetti model that pushes it to Cat 1. And that's the CarQ here. It's usually an outlier model. So, not really a lot going there. We'll see what happens after it goes over land. And we'll go ahead and look at the... Oh, they don't even have the early spaghetti models yet. Showing all the different models, showing the paths here. So, it doesn't look like I have too much information. But that just shows you how recently we got a tropical cyclone here. So let's go ahead and talk about how the U.S. will not be affected by this. And this actually has a lot to do with the Arctic blast. This upcoming cold front, in fact, even what ends up happening here is it gets caught on the south side of this cold front that's expected to come through this in the middle of this week actually. And what this cold front is effectively going to do, it's going to push the storm to the south, just like in the forecast cone is showing. And it's going to push it into Mexico and then just kind of kick it out from there. There is no real chance for it to actually even come close to the U.S., so this isn't going to be any concern for anyone right now. Now there are further pieces of energy that are going to be coming, but that's for another video, and I don't think it'll be of the tropical nature, so to speak. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe things could change, but I'm pretty doubtful of that. That's an interesting looking feature there. But odds are this is not going to be anything tropical. If anything, that's from a cold front. But both the Euro and GFS are in agreement with this, so nothing to worry about here from Karl. So we'll just be worrying about our Arctic blast here and just going from that point. Maybe a nor'easter or two in the coming weeks, here and there. But you can even see it on here. The GFS is like basically just showing the same thing. Cold front pushes it to the south. GFS has it pushing a little bit further south, but even then, not much of a threat to anyone outside of Mexico. That is, I am concerned about the flood threat there. It's such a slow-moving storm, but beyond that, nothing really going here. So one last thing we're going to go ahead and talk about here in this quick tropical update here is we're looking at this little area of interest here, just off the western half of Mexico in the Pacific. And you're probably wondering, but Ty, you never covered this area. This is actually partially associated with the remnants of Julia. And I even called this earlier on, especially with as fast as the storm was moving. Because if you remember, Julia made landfall around Nicaragua and Honduras, went through here, and now has exited out here. The shell of what it used to be, but there are still some remnants right here. It's not very healthy, of course, but there is a 20% chance of formation within the next 5 days, which is very interesting. Conditions are somewhat favorable here. I'd say even less than 50% chance this develops at all. It wouldn't surprise me if it wouldn't, but just goes to show how interesting things can be in the tropics. I know it's not the most relevant thing to what's going on in the country right now, but just thought it'd be something interesting to show you. But that's pretty much it for this video. So this one's a quick one. I'm gonna have a video up tomorrow. We're gonna actually take a first look at November, what kind of temperatures we could be expecting, and precipitation as well. So hopefully you guys tune in for that one. But if you liked anything I did in this video, definitely leave me a like, share the video. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on whatever topic I talk about, of course, or just anything else beyond that. But this has been Tyler Metalhead Weatherman. I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care.